darling. Try to think only of what this means to us.
You're a man. I don't think you can understand what this means to me.
I think I can.
It means that I'm marked for life.
Rachel, listen to me. The divorce is already granted, so let's make the best of it. Let's not let anything mar our future now, especially the past.
How could he have been so spiteful?
Darling, don't be unhappy now, please.
We were married, and for a while, time had no meaning. We stayed on in Natchez, and the days spread into weeks, and the weeks drifted into months. Oh, Andrew, look.
Someday I'm going to have a track of my own, race my own horses. Do you like to gamble?
I married you.
Someday I'm going to build you a home just like that.
With 6 columns?
With 6 columns.
Andrew, let's go back to Nashville to build that home.
Right now?
Right now. So we came home to Tennessee. Andrew bought a place for me. Not a big place at first. Land was getting high, almost 10 cents an acre, which was about all he had to his name. But Andrew kept his word. He'd promised me a house with 6 columns. Well, it had 6 columns, sort of.
Anything else you want, Miss Rachel?
No, thank you, Ma.
Good night, Mom.
Good night.
What are you fretting about?
I'm beginning to worry, Andrew.
Why?
When Jane was married as long as we've been, she'd already had 1 child. Second one on the way.
We'll have children, don't you worry. There's plenty of time. I'll go see who it is. Sorry to trouble you this time of night, Andrew.
Come in, John.
Evening, John.
Evening, Rachel.
If it's trouble that's on your trail, you've come to the right place for support.
I'm afraid it's not me, but you the trouble's headed for. I came to warn you before you heard about it from someone else.
What's this all about, John?
Could I speak to you alone, Andrew?
If you think you're going to break bad news to Andrew alone, John Overton, you'd better change your mind in a hurry.
All right, then. Lewis never got any divorce from Rachel.
I don't understand. Well, Lewis got his divorce over 2 years ago. We all know that.
He petitioned the legislature. All they granted him was the right to sue.
Then Andrew and I aren't married.
John, everybody
was wrong.
Papers.
The papers were wrong. And if Lewis knew about our mistake, he took his sweet time before he did anything.
Did anything? What has he done now?
He sued last week for divorce. It was granted. There was no question of grounds this time.
But, John, how could this have happened? How?
I don't know, but it did. The way things get twisted, the way news travels in this part of the country.
I'm a lawyer. I should have known better. I should have gone to the legislature myself and looked into the records.
And I'm to blame for passing the rumor on to you.
I'll kill him. I'll hunt him down and kill him.
I know what a blow this is to both of you, Andrew, but killing Lewis isn't going to solve anything.
We'll have to be married again, Andrew.
And admit publicly that Lewis was right? No.
Well, I'll go on back to Nashville. You two talk it over tonight. I'll be in our office when you want me. Good night, Rachel.
Thanks.
Let me know what you decide. Only don't decide on anything foolish.
We'll have to be married again.
And admit that we don't recognize our own marriage ourselves? I told you no.
Oh, Andrew. Darling, even if it galls you, do it for my sake. Do it because it'll help me, so that when our children do come, no one will ever be able to hurt them. Do it because you love me.
All right, Rich. I'll do it because you ask me, not because I think it's right. But because I can't deny you anything that's in my power to give you.
I pronounce you man and wife.
Now, Jane and I have fixed a cake. Come along, Rachel. You're going to have to cut it.
Andrew thinks we ought to go home right away, Mother.
You simply can't. Andrew, is that any expression for a bridegroom to wear?
I'm sorry, Mother Donaldson.
Come along.
Well, it isn't everyone that can have two weddings. I mean, let me help you, Mother.
It seems to me William could have got here whether he approved or not.
Oh, I didn't really expect he'd be here. He never thought I should have married Andrew in the first place.
Well, he can go hang as far as I'm concerned.
Here's my lady. I'll wait. Good afternoon, Mrs. Ferris.
Afternoon, Mr. Clark. You fill out that order for me, please?
Certainly, Andrew. I hear today's your wedding day.
You heard right.
Well, these aren't very fancy for a wedding present, but I wish you'd give them to Mrs. Jackson with my compliments.
Well, thank you. She'll appreciate them.
I'd like to ask Rachel. Look out, Jason.
Which one of you mentioned my wife's name?
I did.
What did you say?
Sure you'd like to hear.
What did you say?
I said I wonder whose bed Rachel be putting her moccasins under next.
He's not worth killing.
Got no right to sulk and be mean.
I just don't want you to be unhappy.
I warned you once I was bad-tempered.
They gave you good cause. Here, let me clean you up a little bit.
What's happened, Mr. Crothers?
We found him here a few minutes ago. The Creeks must have ambushed him and taken his horse. They burned the Henderson place, too.
Looks like he's been dead since morning.
Who is he?
He stopped at my place this morning. Said he was going to his sister's wedding.
Andrew, he was on his way to be with us.
We'd best all meet in Nashville tonight. Tell everybody it looks like the Creeks are aiming to wipe us out for good this time.
When the Indians continued to raid and burn our homes, Andrew organized the militia to fight them. He recruited his men and he trained them himself. And when they were ready, he led them. This was our first militia, and it was the first of many separations to come. The first one, I think, was the most difficult.
He'll be back in no time, Miss Rachel. He'll be back before planting time comes around.
If I was young, which I ain't, and if I had any brains, which I ain't, I sure wouldn't marry no soldier.
Andrew wasn't a soldier when I married him.
And when he married you, you sure wasn't no workhorse neither.
Jackson!
Jacob! What are you doing back?
Heading home. The Indian War's over. Looks like you made yourself a hero, Miss Jackson.
Where's Andrew?
He's coming up the road.
Oh! Oh!
We licked him good and proper, and Andy signed a treaty with the Creeks, and from now on, Don't you want to hear about the war?